feel like this might be moving a little slow. Oh, is my mic on? The real question. Testing, 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 testing. Hmm. Hey, India, can you hear my audio? Is my audio okay? I want to get on my account and see how it sounds because I connected my Okay, is it clear or do I sound far away? Like, do it sound like I'm talking in my mic right now? Because it's not showing like any variation in my audio levels. So let me know if it's doing something different. It's weird that it's not showing me anything. And while we do that, we can try to figure out why my earring is trying to boycott my ears. Okay. Well, I think as long as I sound clear, like, does it sound like I'm talking into the mic? Like, it sounds like I'm talking into here and not something like low. I think not I think I'm okay as long as that's what it is. And I know you got to send out the link to the group, so I'll give you some time to let me know. Okay, good. All right. So I don't know why it's not showing me on here, but that's fine as long as you can hear me. So I'm bringing up uh I'm bringing up some stuff on my phone. How has y'all week been? How's it been going? I last week, so I talked about my birthday on Friday. But last week was my birthday. The weekend was pretty like chill, nothing too crazy going on, but I feel like that time change really messed me up. Did that time change like did it jack anybody else up? Like did it feel like you was just getting like two piece by slumber? Because I was feeling so exhausted. Like I couldn't catch a break. Like it was just I was always tired. I was always tired. Okay, it's good to know that I'm not the only person because I was like, yo, this is wild. This is wild. Like at some point, I gotta not be tired anymore. So it feels like even like this week, I'm still not all the way adjusted. And I'm just so grateful that this is our last time doing this. Like I don't have another I don't have another fall back spring forward in me no more. I don't want to play with time. We were never supposed to play with time. Why who decided that that was a good idea in the first place? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Hey Cardi, it's just complete nonsense. I don't think that we should ever have had to do that. And I'm glad that we're done now because I was just I didn't know what day of the week it was. It was just a lot. It was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. But we're here. I still really needed a nap today, like just at random times of the day. My mom said that it's because I finally hit my 30s and she's calling me old. And that's what she's saying is the reason why. And I just feel like we can't confirm or deny that yet because time also changed. So it's a lot of factors working against me right now. So I just feel like we can't come from my age just yet. Not yet. Not yet. Also, I'm not old. I'm just 30. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, y'all, how you said you blame the time change too, India? Thank you. Because I was like, are we just gonna like ignore the fact that we were all tired last week? It's not just me. We were it was confusing. It's confusing. It's always confusing. Even if you woke up and forgot that the time changed, you still felt the effects. Cause like that was me a little bit. I forgot until I looked on Facebook and somebody was like, "Oh, this time changed," and I was like, "Oh, the time did change, huh?" Completely acting. She said I'm acting my age. Yeah, she said I'm acting my age. No, no. I just that felt disrespectful. I ain't like that. But yeah, it's been challenging. It's been challenging. Um, I also, y'all, it's so funny because today I was thinking about I'm looking at Cardi. I'm tired, better yet, exhausted. Time change got me messed up. Yeah, it's got us all messed up and it needs to chill. It needs to chill. But we won, y'all. We won. We made it through the last one ever in the history of life. Don't nobody else need to try to make another order to bring it back. We're good. Okay, we're good. We made it. But I was thinking today that I think that I know like we're used to this time, but I feel like I don't know if the late nights are working anymore. And me talking about how tired I was last week has me thinking about it. I'm like, man, I don't know if these late nights are it. Like, I just want to go to sleep. I just want to go to sleep. I can, I can muster up some energy to come on, but it felt like maybe like 2, 3 o'clock today would have been a great time to go live instead. And so I was thinking about that today, but I didn't because I didn't give anybody enough time to join it. And I was doing a workshop, which I'll tell y'all about in a little bit. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna go 9:30 tonight. I attempted to take a nap in between there because I was like, I'm just sleepy, but the nap didn't happen. I rested for a second, but I was thinking like, man, I might need to consider shifting the time because I don't think that this works with where I am in my life right now. And so yeah, not my late night buddy giving up. Yeah, I don't know if I can hang. Last week had me reconsidering a lot of things. But I was thinking about it today just on my own. And then before I got on here, maybe like 9 o'clock, Kyrie asked me, he was like, Mommy, are you gonna lay down with me? And I was like, no, I gotta go live on YouTube. And so he was like, okay, well, can you next time, can you go live while I'm at school so that you don't have to go live at night and you can lay down with me? And I was like, is he reading my mind? It was such a sweet request. It was so sweet. And all I had to do was like, you know what? I'll think about it, Kyrie. I'll think about it. Because he just meant it so earnestly. He was like, can you do that while I'm at school so that you don't have to do it at night? And I was like, I'll consider it. And I was thinking about it too because um in the middle of the day, there isn't a lot going on in my house. Like, I don't know if y'all ever noticed, but like it'd be popping off at night in my house. Like, that's when everybody's home and stuff is going on, and it's like it's prime time. And so during the day it wouldn't be as much happening. And so it's so interesting because it would be different than like my original intention for doing it, which was that nighttime usually was like the time where I had it to myself and it wasn't a lot going on. But it's just been feeling lately like late at night is not really, it ain't really meshing like that no more. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping that y'all will be, and which I know you will be, but I'm requesting that you be flexible with me as I figure out what that time might look like as it changes, because it can only be late, like around this time, or in the afternoon. Like, there's no real in between, because like that chunk of time in between, like 4 to like 9 o'clock Eastern time, is stuff. Like, stuff is happening. So I wouldn't be able to just like sit here and have a conversation. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's just a thought. Yeah, and I know like when I did it before, around 3, when I first started at the beginning of the year, I know that a lot more people were able to attend it. So, we'll see. But I just want to make sure that whatever it is, I'm consistent enough so that people know to expect it. So just be on the lookout because we may be having a time change coming near you. I know we just talked about time not changing no more, but I need this, y'all. I need this. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I'm just I feel like it's gonna be an interesting next few months. I don't know if y'all been feeling it, but it's just feeling like there's this sense of like things are starting to pick up, like the pace is starting to pick up. I know like in the winter time it seems like things are kind of slow, there's not a lot going on, and it just felt like there was a lot more time to get things done. But here lately it's been feeling like time is just like it's up, like it's doing a full sprint on us because it's about to be April. Is anybody tripping off of that? Like, is anybody talking about the fact that March was not here for us? March said, I'll show my face, but I got somewhere to go. Like March said, I'm see y'all in 2024. It is not like it's not here for us anymore. And so, and as I'm saying that, I'm remembering my friend's birthday is tomorrow. Oh, I thought I missed it. Woo, goodness gracious. That's how fast time is going. That's how fast time is going. But it's just feeling like what is happening? And so I've been feeling like this pressure to get some things together because it's getting out of control. Like if I'm being honest with you. And so the word for me right now is distractions. And I'm realizing more and more how I have been consumed with distractions. And you wouldn't know it on the outside looking in because there's a lot of things that I do and it gets done. I do what I say I'm going to do, but there's so much more that I need to have getting established and preparing for, because if I don't, I'm not going to be in a place to receive it. That's just that. Like there are things that I know that there's some big things I want to work towards that I know I'm going to need to have prepared now so that when they come, I'm not scrambling or like I don't miss out on opportunities. And so I'm not going to be vague about it, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all what these plans are because for one, I need y'all help. I'm going to need y'all help. Anybody that loves me and rocks with me and believes in what I'm doing, I'm going to need y'all help with this. I'm also doing it because I want to make sure that I'm being accountable to you. And you also, in turn, being accountable to me in whatever way that we work together. And so that's just me making sure that the relationship is reciprocated. Like it's not just one sided over here. So that's another thing. And then I am announcing it because there's going to be an opportunity for us to do some things together because I know that I'm not the only person that's distracted. I'm just the first person talking about it. Maybe not the first, but I'm talking about it. But I'm not the only one. And so I feel comfort in that a little bit. Like I'm not in the struggle by myself. But I see Inda, you said we got you. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna actually have to have a meeting, India. Um, I'm gonna be putting that down. That's one of the things that I need to work on. I need to have this meeting put together so that the team can come together and work on what we got coming up. So I'm just excited to talk about what it is that's happening. And I'm in a much better space this week than I was last week concerning it because my attitude was funky last week, y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real. She had an attitude. So we're better now. Okay. I'm 30. I'm grown. But so yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that they are trying to ban TikTok, y'all. Have y'all heard about this? Like they're legit coming for TikTok's neck. Once again, they're coming for TikTok. And I am so not necessarily conflicted by it, but I'm annoyed by it. I'm annoyed by it, honestly. And I want to know what y'all thoughts are on it, how you feel about it. Will it make a big difference to you? Because I found myself in a space where I almost felt like if TikTok, if they ban TikTok in the way that I imagine them trying to ban it, I would have to go through a grieving process. I would be sad. I would be sad if something happened in TikTok. And so I see your comment, Cardi. I'm gonna come back to it. Okay, yes. I would be grieving it because as much as I might talk stuff about TikTok and complain about things I don't like about TikTok, it has really been a space for me to feel like what I do matters. And it has helped me. It helped me feel like I actually was an influencer. And I've talked about this before uh, a few times, and I talk about why I have such strong convictions about people getting on TikTok, because TikTok is that space where anybody can be seen, and it can change people's lives, and it's changed people's lives in ways that no other social media platform has, not to this magnitude. And I think about the people whose careers took off, whose businesses were failing and grew because they got the visibility that they needed. I think about the people who have been influencers for years. Hello, me. Hi. And it felt like I was getting no love on Instagram. And when I went to TikTok and started, bringing my talents elsewhere, that's where I started to see that, hey, my message does matter. Like, I'm actually an influencer, and it's not necessarily because of the numbers, even though the numbers did help to kind of like validate that, but it's also just because I was finally getting to meet people who wanted my help. Because coming from Facebook and Instagram, a lot of those relationships on there, people who already know me and they love me and they're going to support me regardless, but they're not necessarily the people that I need to help. And I would see these bigger influencers with these big numbers who are doing so well on Instagram, but it just felt like I couldn't break through. I couldn't break through it. And so being on TikTok was almost like it was like a place for me to feel affirmed in what I was doing. It was a place for me to meet some amazing people. It's still one of those things that people can look at it and be like, oh no, she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. And so I love that it not only like created that space, but it challenged these other platforms to start to do things differently, because it was really strictly like a pay to play type situation. If you didn't have the money to pay for ads or to pay for your stuff to be promoted, if you didn't have the notoriety or the popularity already to grow your account, good luck, right? And then even when it came to getting brand deals, what brand deals? You only got 1,000 followers. Like, they're not messing with you. And the idea of being, even like being a micro influencer, was still so um challenging, because even with that, there was a certain threshold you had to meet in order for them to start to pay you, for brands to pay you for your content. And so it has been such a battle up until I figured out how to maneuver my way around TikTok. And so I just look at it every day. There's new stories of people have really been um, who have really been pushed and accelerated because of this platform. And so I I I would feel a way about them trying to ban it. And so that's the first reason why, and that's like the biggest one for me, because it's personal. Like, it's personal. Y'all over here trying to mess up stuff that people have established. That's a personal thing for me. And so there's that, but then there's also just the fact that they're doing it in the first place, like the government's reasoning behind it, and them talking about them having access to certain information about us, and spying on us, using to spy on us and things like that. They're really trying to put these measures into place, but I don't trust their intentions. I don't. I don't. Also because they're not collecting any data or information that any other app or platform isn't already collecting from us, and is able to use to their advantage. And so, and the thing that really like made me feel like is that they're requiring for TikTok to sell their shares, basically, so that it is no longer owned by China at all. It is no longer a Chinese owned company, and it being an American company. But it's just like, do y'all really care about our safety, or do you just want the money that comes from having the shares and having control over the information that they have developed? Even the algorithm itself, they have other apps have not been able to crack that algorithm. It's still something unique about the way that they do it. And a lot of people are speculating that it is also because of the way that you can be someone who's not well known at all and blow up on TikTok, because for the most part, the algorithm is built to appease the people. We get to choose. We have control over what's popular, what blows up, what we want to see, as opposed to other platforms where you have enough money, people are going to see your stuff. And that's really how it works. So, yeah, and it's exactly, it's about the bottom line. It's about the bottom line. India, you said, I've seen people theorize that they just want to get people back into the workforce, and this is that's incredible. And you know what's so interesting about that is, I was thinking, I was like, man, look at how many businesses have thrived because of TikTok. How many entrepreneurs have been able to grow their businesses, and they're really bothered by the amount of people who want to be influencers. I hear people say that all the time, like, we need electricians and we need this and we need that. And I'm like, y'all, there are going to always be people to do those jobs. Like, do you think that everyone's just like quit their jobs and, pulled out their phones and are hoping to be famous? People make content and still have jobs. Like, no one is just not doing anything. Not no one, but the vast majority of people are not just sitting at home trying to make it as content creators. They still got bills. I think about that even when, oh goodness gracious, or even when I remember at a time that they were talking about, we need scientists. I remember that was like a big thing when I was in school. They were like, we need more people to be scientists, and it's like, that's not a social media concern. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know how you solve that, but that's the two don't correlate to me. Like, that don't make sense to me at all. So, it happened around the time Instagram isn't paying people for reels anymore. Yes. People growing quickly on TikTok. Yes. 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 All of these things are what we're seeing, and you see a lot of people having more control over what it looks like for them to, what their careers look like. And the thing that is so interesting about that too is that the people, the types of jobs that creatives do, whether that is contract work, freelancers, people who are entrepreneurs, during times of recession and depression, those have been steadily increasing streams of revenue for the economy. Those have been things that have helped to boost the economy steadily. And there's literally research that's been done to show that out of all of these other industries, that creative entrepreneurship has been one of the things that has consistently contributed to the economy in a positive way. And so you think about how there are going to be people who are not going to be, they're going to, companies are not going to be able to pay for full-time employees. They're not talking about that. They're not going to be able to have people on their payroll as employees. They're going to need to have people who can do contract work. They're going to need people who are freelancers who are, they are not obligated to pay them as an employee. They're not obligated to cover their benefits, their, you know, their health insurance, all of these different things that come with acquiring someone to work for your business. All of those costs associated, the businesses are not going to be able to afford that many. So you're thinking about all these people who are getting laid off from their jobs. What are they supposed to do? Because you're saying that people, you need people in these positions, but you're also firing people. The tech industry, it is abysmal right now. It is ridiculous how many people are being laid off from these positions. And when they were doing, during the pandemic, they were doing this massive like hiring spree. It was almost like a campaign, a national campaign to get people into tech. And now those same people are losing their jobs. And so it's so interesting that you are putting people in a position where it's like you don't want them to figure it out, how you don't want them to figure out how to make it work for themselves, then you also are not giving them the opportunities that you say are lacking. It's a very weird place to be in. And so I know that no matter what they're doing, especially when it gets to a government level, I mean the CEOs meeting with Congress, like that's crazy to me. I didn't even know what the CEO of TikTok looked like until today. I've never seen him before. He made a whole TikTok petition. Like that's how serious this is right now. And so I just know whenever it gets to that level, it is more at stake than just them worried about our privacy. They don't care about our privacy. They just care about who has control over it. So I thought that that was interesting, and I thought that it's coming at an interesting time for me personally because last week I was talking about I was talking about how I know that there needs to be I need to do a social media detox. And so I was saying last week also that it was largely because I've been distracted and I've been using social media as a distraction. And so while I may not be posting on there as often these past few weeks, I have been on there still scrolling. I'll notice I'll get on there when I feel anxious, when I don't want to do a certain task, when I'm feeling like worried about something, something big that I got to do. I will turn to social media. And so I'm noticing that like that's a habit now. And I know I'm doing it. I'm aware of it. It's one thing when it's like, I didn't realize I was doing that. No, I know I'm doing it. So now what am I going to do about it? Because it's very clearly I'm using it to avoid things. So I think that it's interesting because it is one of the things that comes up when we talk about something like this happening, which I don't know which way this ban is going to go, and even with that, I don't know what it's going to look like, but it just always brings back to my memory that we do not own these platforms, we do not have control over what they decide to do, and we don't own anything on there. And it is important for us to be able to have some real estate online specifically because we're talking about social media, but it's important to have online real estate. And so when I think about that, I think about email lists, um, I think about websites, I think about Discord, like having a group where I can still communicate with you if all this other stuff shuts down. And Discord is kind of a tricky one because I technically don't we don't really own Discord either, but it is a little more you have a little bit more control over that, right? So yeah, so I know now that there's this renewed importance to eliminate that distraction for the time being so that I can get this work done that I need to do, which in the grand scheme of things is not even the grand scheme. The things that I have to do are not big things, but they are things that they're new things I have to learn. And I know that what they're leading up to is big. And so, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I promise you, I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about, but I gotta move this way. I gotta leave the story. So I know that those are things that I gotta address them. I gotta tackle them one thing at a time. And so I know that the detox is coming up soon. I believe that I said April 7th was when it was going to start for all of us. I'm going to be starting a little bit earlier because I have to prepare for it and because I had to prepare for us to participate in it together. And I got to talk about it. I got to make sure that people know that it's happening. There's just some steps I got to make sure are in place so that it's effective. And then also, I know that I'm going to have to go a little bit longer than the challenge when I open it up to everybody because of the work that I got to do. So I'm going to be working on that coming up soon. I'll pull up the calendar later, y'all. But that's going to be the thing that I'm working on. So I was feeling pretty overwhelmed by the thought of this because I was thinking, like, well, what is this going to look like then? Like, how do I set up for this? How do I establish this? What am I going to do in the meantime when I'm not on social media? What are the projects that are a priority? What are the things that I need to do and get in order so that I can make sure that I'm really making good use of this time away? And so, one of the biggest things is that I am going to be focusing on email marketing. And so, y'all, the thing about email marketing is that I have such a love hate relationship with it, and it's for multiple reasons. The biggest one is that getting people onto an email list is probably one of my least favorite things to do in the world. Like, it sometimes feels like pulling teeth to get people on your email list. And growing it has been, I think, one of the biggest challenges for me because that's the part that almost feels like selling. And so I'm just like, don't like it. Mm-mm. So there's that part, right? There's also the part that I know that whatever system I'm going to use, it can no longer be a free system. I'm going to have to pay for it. I got to pay to play with this one. And the ones that I want to use are not cheap. They're not cheap. Like, you're basically like, this is an investment and I am expecting a return. So that means that if I'm investing my money in it, I can't play with it. Can't play with it. Okay. The song came in my head. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. You can't. You cannot play with it when you're paying for it. Okay. So I think about that, and that means I got to take it seriously. Like, I got to do it for real. And so that's the part about it that's just like, not a fan. But I remember when I did it. I remember when I had another social media detox because this was before TikTok. I was on Instagram and I just needed a break from Instagram because Instagram be stressing me out, y'all. Not even stress, stress, stressing me out. Okay, okay. So I needed a break, and so I took a 20-day break from Instagram, and I mean, like, it was a done deal. Took it off my phone. I ain't even open it. If you DM me, I ain't see it. I was off of there. I was gone. Okay. And so I did that, and during that time where I had the detox, I was emailing people. And so I used my email list almost like a diary. And so you were still getting updates from me. If you wanted to know what I was doing, you had to be on my email list or you had to know me personally because that was it. That was the only way you was going to know. And so I remember even documenting our trip to Virginia, because we live in Virginia, our trip from New York to Virginia. And so even talking about that in my email newsletter and just like documenting the process, like the move was like a whole big thing for me. Because we had lived in New York for 6 years. And so it was a big move. And I used the email list in that way. And I found that it was a really good outlet because there's no algorithm. If you signed up for my email list, you're going to get it unless you're messing with Gmail, who you putting yourself, they be putting your emails in promotion sometimes, which is petty. Stop doing that, Gmail. I don't get why they do that. Your stuff will go straight to promotions. But outside of that, there's no algorithm. If you signed up for my newsletter, if you signed up for my email list, you're going to get my emails. And so you don't have to deal with the petty stuff that comes with the algorithms. And it was also good because I was not comparing myself to anybody else while I was doing this. Like, no, it wasn't nobody else to worry about. It wasn't anything else that I could look at and be like, oh, well, so and so did this. I mean, unless I'm looking at somebody else's emails, but I mean, I ain't got time for that. That's a lot of reading. It's so much harder to compare yourself to other people when you got to read their stuff. It's too much work. It's too much work. And so it was just a lot more freeing for me to still express myself, to still market to a certain degree, even though I wouldn't have called it that then. And so it was really cool. And so this time around, that is what I plan on doing with my email list is taking the same skill, the same campaign building and marketing that I know how to do online, online on social media, the same skills that I have in storytelling and nurturing people and getting them to understand why they need what I have to offer. All of that is going to be in the emails. And so I'm going to be using that as my outlet, basically. But the exciting part is that I'm going to also be able to include video because I just love video. I like talking, y'all. I can type it, but I rather talk it. So that's going to be one of the biggest things, the biggest projects I'm going to be working on is emails. So if you're already on my email list, you'll be seeing them. And if you're not, you should get on it. And I'm gonna have a gift for you if you do sign up for the email list. I'm gonna have that ready. This it's not it's it'll I'll put the link to it, but I can't do like the fancy spiel right now because it's not all the way done. But it'll basically be a detox guide. So if you want to join the detox guide is going to be the gift that you get for signing up for the newsletter. And if you're already on it, then you're going to get it anyway. So you don't have to worry about missing out on that. And it'll be my gift to you for signing up, and hopefully it'll encourage you to join me on the detox. So that's going to be the first and the biggest thing. I'm looking at Cardi. I remember that one time I was looking for Jada, and it was around her detox time before we were super close. Oh yeah, I'll be when I detox, I'll be out, y'all. When I cut, it take me a second. I'll be fighting it for a long time, but once I leave, I leave. You know what I mean? Ghost. That I was supposed to disappear when I did that. But yeah, so that's the first thing. The second thing, y'all, that I'm working on, which is really big, and I've been sitting on this thing for a long time. And if I'm being real with you, it is because I have felt so intimidated by taking this on. Okay. Y'all ready to know what it is? I am starting a fund. It's going to be a crowdfunding campaign, and the campaign is called it's called Trendsetter Initiation Fund. So the Trendsetter Initiation Fund is an idea that God gave me about 2 years ago, and it was originally going to be to offer scholarships and funding to help women to build new wardrobes, because at the time I was just exclusively styling people. And it is now turned into an entire like branding, an entire branding uh, initiative, I guess you could say. And so with the fund, I'm raising $25,000. Saying the number out loud, y'all. $25,000 is my goal. And I want to use a majority of that money to help to fund the education of people who are trendsetters. So whether you need a scholarship to a program, whether that is services that I offer, or whether that's some services that somebody else offers, like logos, website design, photography, shoot, like having a brand shoot, things that we need to build our brand, learning, taking a business course. I want to be able to help to fund people getting the education that they need to build their businesses. Even like down to getting your LLC, like things that you need to have, like are foundational for your business, for your brand. I want to be able to help fund that. Another part of the fund is going to go towards a tour. I've been telling y'all I want to do a tour. I wanted to tour for so long. And I want this to be a branding tour where I go to the cities where my people are at and we do things in person. Like we have, I think that the idea that I have right now is going to be like branding and brunch. It's going to be cute. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an opportunity for you to collaborate with people in your area, collaborate with other businesses, and to foster this sense of community and collaboration where we really see the power of social media, of branding, of connecting with other businesses and just really building up our areas using our influence. And so that's going to be what I use the funding to do. So it'll cover the scholarships and it'll also cover the costs of the tour so that I can make it as affordable as possible, because I don't want to bust people's heads to get this. I want this to be something where it's like I can manage that. Like I can make that happen and we can have a good time and feel encouraged to keep going, because I think that that's just what we need. And we need that collaboration, we need that community, those relationships, and we need the education. Like let's be real. Like we need to learn the stuff that we need to know for business. So that is the big thing that I have to work on. And so with the Trendsetter Initiation Fund, I have to establish a campaign page. So I have to do a whole pitch. I got to do a pitch video. I have to um, I have to create the page, and then I have to start to talk about this. So that's one of the things that I've been avoiding, because like y'all saw how hard it was for me to even get that number out my mouth. Like it's a really big thing and it's scary because I believe in it so much and I really want it to happen. And I have sat on it for so long knowing that it's necessary. And so this time that we're in right now, with so many people being afraid and not having stability with their jobs and wanting to start businesses, like at this point it being necessary to have another stream of income, I know the power that the creative economy has to really make some things happen in our country. I mean, across the world, honestly, but especially right now with us being in the place that we are financially. And so I want to make sure that I'm not the reason why it doesn't work out, because at this point I'm the one that's standing in the way. So taking the time away to work on that pitch, to develop it, to write it out, to create the video content that needs to go with it, and then to create a proper campaign and to really like put my effort behind growing it is going to be my biggest goal personally, like for my personal business, along with the membership community that I will talk about in another video, because that's going to be a whole shebang. But those are going to be the things that I focus on the heaviest outside of working with clients. So that's the big thing that I'm working on. And earlier today, the email marketing piece, I was taking a course on email marketing. So I'm really like getting the things together so that by the time this detox happens, I'm in the place to start it and to do it well. So I'll still be on YouTube. I'll still be going live on YouTube. I'm allowed to do that. I am going to take like our lives that we do on Wednesdays, and I'm going to turn it into the audio into a podcast, because that's the intent behind it. That was the intent behind it when I first started it. Like that was always the intent, was for it to also be a podcast, so that the I'm really like using the content to its full extent. And so that's also something that I've just been like slacking on. Like I don't know if y'all realize, but like that's why I'm so adamant about the audio being good, and even like not doing it when everything in the house is going on, because I don't want that to be in the audio. But I always had this idea for this to be a podcast. I just don't like the idea of calling it a podcast for some reason. I don't know, but I'll get over it. It's going to be one. So the audios are going to be available as well. So those are the big things that I'm going to be working on. And so I think that I covered everything that's going to be happening, that I want to make sure that, I'm keeping the lines of communication open. And I want to also encourage y'all that while you're considering whether you need a detox, I just want you to think about the things that you started off maybe this year or maybe last year saying that you want to do. And I want you to be honest about where you are with it right now. Do you feel like you're moving at a steady pace, or are you avoiding things? Are you allowing certain things to slip through the cracks that should be given more attention? Like, are you running from something? Are you running from something? You may be doing well in one area. This is not to say that your entire life is in shambles or nothing like that. I mean, if it is in shambles, I'm praying for you. I know how that feels. But if are you being distracted in a particular area? And is it in an area where you know that that thing is big and you are not giving it the proper attention that it deserves? I want you to just be honest about that, and not necessarily think about how you'll have to sacrifice your time on social media, or having like FOMO and being worried about what you're going to miss if you're not on there. I don't want you to be concerned with that right now. I want you to think about what's most important, and are you giving it the attention that it deserves? Or are there some things that you can cut out social media so that you are not using it to distract yourself from the tough things, from the difficult things? And that may not be business related, y'all. It may not be business related. You may notice that you are just running from something. And I know a good indicator for me, I know we all hate it. But my screen time did not lie. My screen time, y'all. First of all, who told it to pop up? That's the first question. Who told you to just show up in my life like this? I didn't intentionally look for screen time. It's a widget on my phone now. Like who made this widget? Disrespectful. I know it was God. I know it was. I know it was. Ain't no way you can tell me different. That widget, I intentionally avoid that widget. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing my screen time when I'm over here trying to swipe on a TikTok. How dare you? How dare you? Screen time. But anyway, it was telling on me, and the hours. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the hours were abysmal. And it would make sense if I was on live, if I was doing something on there, editing. I don't even edit most of my content on the apps anymore. So I can't even use that as an excuse. I mostly use CapCut to edit. So it's just really like, wow, no, you are running a marathon in the wrong direction. So yeah, look at your screen time. Or maybe after I said this, it's gonna pop up on you anyway, even though you ain't asked for it, like it happened to me, because it's just my life. It's just my life. So Cardi said her screen time read her for filth, like dragged me. Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. And now, yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all. Oh, I am so embarrassed. It was in the double digits, y'all. Why? Why? That's almost like the entire amount of time I've been awake. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now tell me how much money I made while I was on there though. Let's talk about that part. Like what was accomplished? Oh man. Oh man. So that's real, y'all. That's real. I mean, it's giving I ain't got boundaries. It's giving I'm running a full sprint away from my responsibilities. It's giving avoidance. Like it's giving a lot of things that I need for it to take back. I don't want it no more. I don't want it anymore. So that is honestly, truly why it's just like, okay, I need to, it's necessary. It's necessary. And when I think about what it's actually doing for me, is it doing much? Is it doing much? No. I can be honest about that. And it's not to say that it's a bad thing or to make it this evil place, but the intention behind it is just it's undeniable. I know. I know. I thought about the work I had to do. I thought about my task for the day and turned on Instagram and just cycled through all of my social media apps. Like it's clear now. So I want you to think about that. You have time to ponder, take a little peek at your screen time, make see if it's adding up, and will when it's time to start, you'll know. You'll know. And I'll also be sending out the detox guide to my email list. So make sure that you are on there. If you're watching this live, you're gonna have to come back to the video when I re-upload it, and I will have the sign up form on there. Um, and I gotta think about what that's gonna look like, y'all. Mm. It'll be there. It'll be there. But I just want you to think about that. All of the information that you need to make an informed decision is going to be there on that guide. And I'll be talking about it in my emails coming up and just what it's looked like and what I'm learning so far, and just kind of sharing this story more so that everybody knows, what's going on, what I'm doing. And hopefully they'll see a need for it for themselves and they'll join us. So that's it, y'all. I think that that's everything. Yeah, I feel like I got it all out. So I love y'all so much. Carter said some of that ain't your fault. We be hanging out. Yeah, I be hanging out on there, but a lot of it is my fault. I just gotta own up to it. I gotta own up to it. But I thank y'all. Thank you, India. Let me know I got this. We got this. We're gonna do it. And we're gonna do it. It can't control our lives like this no more. It just can't. It's ridiculous. Um, it's all a part of being an influencer, of being a trendsetter. It's that we got to do the things that are difficult. We can't just be putting on a show and getting caught up and being online all of our lives, not having boundaries, not having proper things in place. That's honestly not even me, y'all. Like I'm leaving behind my toxic ways. Okay, I have to have boundaries now. I gotta have boundaries. Y'all can't just have me on there all times of the day and the night, and I got stuff to do. So I want to make sure that I'm being a good representative and walking it out and showing everybody that it's possible. It's possible. Oh, and the last thing before I forget, another thing that I want to do during this time is I want to have more interactions with people IRL. Like, I actually want to talk to human beings. That's the last thing I forgot. Oh, how did I forget that part? So I told y'all the part of the thing that I want to do with the initiation fund, the Trendsetter Initiation Fund, is that I want to be able to connect influencers and businesses together. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. And so that's one of the things that I want to do. But I have to also be doing that in my own community. And so that is something that I want to do more of. I've got into the habit of documenting like the places that I go and sharing like the places that I eat and where I stay when I'm at a hotel or just different places that I like. But I would like to do that even more. I want to just be more involved. I want to help support um, my community with the skills that I have. So that's going to also be one of the focuses that I will have if I'm not on social media. It means I gotta talk to somebody. So it's gonna mean I gotta talk to people in their face. So that's another thing that I'm gonna be working on too. And yes, that's it for real. That's it for real. So take all that into consideration. Think about whether you need a detox, and you can still join the Discord if you want to get in there now, but the email list is going to really be where like it's going to where I'm going to tell the story and where you're going to get all of this information that I'm talking about. So join me over there, and I will see y'all next week, possibly in the daytime. And that's it. I love y'all. Y'all have an amazing rest of the week and weekend, and I'll talk to you later.